All right, guys, it's about that time. I'm going to get started. I'm sure we'll have some people kind of hopping on. Okay. Can everybody hear me? If you are on, give me a thumbs up. Corinne, can you hear me okay?
I can. I had a hard time getting in because
Okay.
I couldn't click on the link from the Facebook invite,
Okay.
and that might be holding some people up. I could get through it through my Outlook, so I was trying to cut and paste, but I couldn't do it.
If you have the ability to check in on the Facebook group and let people know we're getting started, and they can give it a try either one more time or through the phone, something like that would be great.
Okay, I can't.
And for everybody else, feel free to mute or unmute yourself, check your video, so we can have a clean recording. I'm going to move this around just 1 second so I can see what I'm doing. Okay. Move it over here. All right. So welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for being here and taking this time for yourself to learn a little bit more about the science of emotions and aromatherapy. And we're going to learn to ride some of life's waves together and talk about how this is going for you. We're going to essentially manage our moods today. So here is just a little housekeeping. I want you to get what you came for. So grab a pen and paper handy for note-taking. I'm sure there's going to be some things that we share today that will be insightful that you may want to incorporate into your life and have some notes on. Put your cell phone on silent. Close out your other browser windows if possible. Minimize other distractions the best you can. And we're going to have 60 minutes of nice focused time for you so that you can get results. If you could mute yourself for a clean recording, unless you have something to say, there will be times throughout this webinar where I definitely want your interaction and your feedback. So feel free to unmute yourself as we go. I think actually maybe I can mute everybody. It sounds okay. Okay. All right, we'll keep going. Everybody with me? Actually, I'm going to open up the chat too. So if you're new to Zoom, there is also a chat feature. And I would love for you to utilize that throughout the class too, so we can make sure that everybody's involved. If you are on and you can hear me and we're looking good, could you go ahead and type in the chat? Oh, good. Thanks, Rachel. Sounds good. Awesome. Okay. All right. So this class is for you if you are looking for some natural solutions for emotional health, for yourself or for your loved ones. This class is for you if you are just sick and tired of being sick and tired. If you need something that's not only effective, but that's safe and simple. This is a class for you if you want to enjoy life more and create your dreams. So I want you to know that during this 60 minutes, we're going to pack a lot in, but I want you to try to stick around the best you can, even if you are a member or if you are new to this class. Stick around. You don't want to miss some special bonuses and giveaways at the end. All of you who have joined us for participation, I am going to be giving you a little something as well. So thanks so much for being on the live call, guys. All right, so we're going to learn a little bit about the science and emotion and essential oils, some tools, techniques, and habits for healthy body chemistry, some practical emotional wellness steps that you can take now. Does that sound good? All right, this is the time for your notes, okay? So grab that pen and paper if you have it handy, or grab your cell phone that you may need to have a notes or memo section on. We're going to start by taking a few deep breaths, okay? So I'd like you all to close your eyes And take a few centering breaths just to get here and now. I'm sure we've had busy days. Let's try to let it all go, whatever has been happening or whatever is going to be happening in the next an hour from now. Okay? Just let it go. And feel the sensations in your body. You can notice the sounds in your environment, the smell. You have some comfort oil diffusion. And I think I'm going to really quickly I'm going to try to mute everyone. If you are not muted, could you try to mute yourself? Let's see. Okay. Mute everybody. There we go. Sorry guys, bear with me just a minute. Okay, that sounds much better. Okay, so what I'd like you to do, now that you're kind of centered and relaxed into your body, into the here and now, I'd like you to take that out your notes and just start writing. Where are you right now? How are you feeling? Where are you today? In this very moment, how do you feel? Where do you feel the most out of balance? So this could be something that's maybe going on, circumstantial. How are you feeling about it? Is it something that you deal with not just today, that's maybe perpetuating itself? How does this impact your ability to respond in times of stress, in your relationships perhaps, your finances, your workplace, etc.? And just take a few minutes to jot this down. What kinds of emotions are you experiencing at this very moment? And if this is something that's been around and lingering, I'd like you to consider what this is costing you, what this would look like if things don't improve for yourself in your life in the future, without feeling daunted, but just take the time to feel and experience what's rising up in you today. And maybe it's that you're feeling really great and excited. It doesn't have to be that, but I'd like you to just notice, we're all humans. We've all got something. What is it that feels most out of balance? Okay. Take a few more minutes. And I'm going to open up the chat again. When you have finished, just go ahead and type in, I'm ready to rock, and we'll kind of wait for everybody to catch up. But feel free to take as much time as you need. We all have stress. I mean, stress is at the root of being human. It's necessary for our survival, and so it's going to be a part of our lives. And I'd like to just see where you're at with that. Feel free to type into the chat. I'm ready to rock when you are done. Awesome. Michelle's ready to rock. Okay. There we go. Got a couple more ready. So I'm going to continue on. Thanks for taking the time to do that for yourselves. My name is Lauren Bernard, and I am an essential oil educator and enthusiast. I graduated from ASU with a multicultural, multilingual education degree, actually, and spent many years in the classroom, 2 of which were in a dual language classroom teaching elementary school. And then I also have some business experience in real estate. And here are my 2 lovely kiddos and my hubby. I've been a mom. My oldest is 8.5, and it's been just the absolute best years of my life, but also has been some of the years where I've gained the most personal development out of. It's kind of been, this job of being a mom has absolutely been the most expansive and and elevating job I've ever had, because it has forced me to step up to the plate and be what I can be. And it's not always been pretty, and I'll share a little bit about that, about myself today. But basically, I'm a yogi seeking to empower, to nourish and evolve the consciousness and holistic lives in others. And several years ago, I just decided, that, like I was saying, I was kind of sick and tired of just feeling a certain way and seeing the world a certain way, kind of dark and in black and white, and couldn't really understand why I just couldn't be happy all the time, even when things seemed to be turning up, and that I had so much to be grateful for. So it really started a journey of self-help books and inquiry into improving myself, and a lot of aha moments, and realizing that I want to be of service. So that is why I'm here today. And I speak to you about emotions specifically because it is really near and dear to my heart, and part of that growth, because I've really dug myself out of a pretty dark and messy journey that I'm still walking today. But I feel like I've covered quite a bit of ground, and I'm excited to share this stuff with you because it's fascinating to me. All right, so the idea of a holistic lifestyle is that we're created as humans to function as a whole. We're created to have this balance, nourishing our body and mind and spirits all in one, to have this harmonious, balanced emotional selves. In whatever circumstances come our way, we are really created to function this way. And yet it seems so out of grasp in the world today and for most of us. But your body is really designed to be able to find this homeostasis. So let's talk a little bit more about the body. So your body is made up of all these intelligent cells, and they're wired to restore our health. They're constantly communicating to one another and doing its best without you even knowing, to get you into a harmonious state, mental, emotional, and physical. And emotions are just these information carrying molecules, and they react to and bind with cell receptors. They impact the function and the behavior of your cells. So it's this energy, this chemical molecule in motion that is going to affect your body physically and emotionally on the cellular level all throughout your body. They're processed all throughout the body. Science actually reveals that there are 3 brains. Their complex process function in the mind, in the heart, and in your gut. And they communicate with each other as these emotions are signaling and processing from one to the other. So the mind is your logic and intellect. This is the subconscious mind that directs over 90% of your behavior. I think this is super interesting because we were given as humans this mind for our survival. It's what's going to allow us to survive in an everyday, no matter what the environment is. We were given that mind to help us. The heart is your intuition. There's more neural pathways that run from the heart to the brain than from the brain to the heart. And your gut, you have like these gut feelings. And that's because it is an intellect in your gut. And 90% of your body's serotonin involved in mood management is produced in your gut. And these are all talking to each other as the waves of emotion run through it and direct ourselves. So these 3 brains communicate to each other. They feed back to and therefore influence the mind. And we feel connected and well when they're all kind of in harmony, talking together. So emotions are just energy in motion. They're a dynamic matrix of feelings and sensations. Many are unconscious programming for our survival and reproduction, like we were talking about with the brain. 90% of them are just reoccurring and automatic. So getting in touch with this can bring new awareness and responsiveness to our lives. Otherwise, those can just control you. And that's the whole point of this today, is mindfully managing our moods, with using certain tools and techniques that can really help you with this. So a little story that I heard about is this a bear analogy. So if you were being chased by a bear, like the way that humans, were conditioned and designed for survival, let's say you're being chased by a bear, you have all of these signals that are going to subconsciously, it's going to tell you, run and get up in a tree and whatever you need to do to get away from the bear. This is the flight or fight response in the body. Now, the thing is your mind doesn't know the difference between that fear and, say, the fear of response in a critical situation, a stressful situation. Let's say something as silly as you get a text message that, or an email or something happens circumstantially that makes you feel fearful or afraid, or let's say somebody just said something that made you feel like you're not doing enough. You create all this anxiety in your body. You're not going to be there for someone else's needs. For whatever it is, your body goes into that same fight or fight response with whatever circumstances you might be feeling that stress in. So what happens is your heart and your gut are all going to respond to the situation and all of these emotions that are running through you. For example, like your gut will technically shut down because it's feeling like it's being chased by a bear. It doesn't have time to stop and eliminate if you need to. So your gut actually will feel stuck, will shut down under stress, which I thought was really interesting when I heard that story and that analogy. It's absolutely true. So what do you experience with these types of emotions? Where do you feel it? Okay, so let me chat again. Let's type into the chat a couple of maybe situations. Let's take anger or irritation, annoyance, an emotion, something like that. Has anybody experienced that lately? Anybody want to chat in that? What I would like to do is to talk a little bit about what do you experience when you're having that kind of an emotion. So let's just say that you got a phone call from a relative and it created an annoying emotion within your body. Can anybody, let's just put ourselves in that situation. Can anybody describe to me, either in the chat or you can feel free to unmute yourself, and tell me where you might experience annoyance in your body? What does it look like? What does it feel like in your body? Like, for example, does your heart start racing? Does your face feel warm? These types of sensations. What are these sensations that you experience in your body? Anybody got something to chat in? Tightness of the chest and shoulders, awesome. Shoulders get tight, feel sweaty, tension, scattered mind, unable to think straight. Face gets hot, shaky, very hard time shaking those off during the day. Yeah, they stick with you, right? Yeah. And so now would you label this, say, a good or bad? Do you guys think that annoyance is a bad thing? Yeah? Okay. This is super normal. That we label these different experiences as good or bad. And what I've been learning about is that attaching a label to it actually doesn't allow us to necessarily feel it and deal with it. So what happens is, let's say an animal out in nature is experiencing this fear and they have this emotion of flight or fight response. It's going to, the emotion itself lasts for about 15 seconds as it runs through their body. And by 3 minutes later, they're back to grazing on grass or whatever it is they're doing, because they allow that emotion to be felt and to metabolize through their system when they find that they're safe. And then what happens with humans is a little different. Like it can stick with you all day, something like that, right? Super normal. The problem is that we label it bad, And it's what we do with that. Do we run away from that feeling, or do we run towards that feeling? Now, this seems totally bananas, but if you have these kinds of feelings, what I'm going to recommend to you in the next few slides is to actually run toward them and feel them so that you can learn from them. Okay, so let's dig in a little bit more. All right, so let's explore a few different emotions, because what I found is that, I didn't really know. I didn't know how to label when, especially with my kids, and trying to teach them about feelings and how we talk it through, and a more responsive reaction to things, is that I didn't really necessarily even know the extent of a variety of emotions that I feel and what they necessarily feel like. So some positive emotions: happiness, joy, love, excitement, pleasure, laughter, drive, determination, interest, desire, hope, curiosity, pride, empathy, enthusiasm, gratitude, forgiveness, awe, confidence, peace, acceptance, wholeness. Some negative emotions: fear, grief, hatred, shame, blame, depressed, anxious, guilt, despair, anger, resentment, regret, apathy, tense, sadness. There are so many. A really awesome reference for exploring how these feel and what these really look like in our bodies when they arise, and the different, there's different levels. So basically you have fear, negative emotions, and different levels of this emotion as it rises and falls like a wave. And we can sometimes go through them or just experience them at a different level depending on our circumstance. Usually there's a circumstance or whatever that's causing these emotions. So the Sedona method is an awesome resource. I definitely highly recommend you go check it out if you want to learn a little bit more about the complexity of our emotions. And then the tapping method, we're going to talk a little bit more about that in a little bit, but they kind of go hand in hand with learning to get in touch with your emotions, because that is really what we're here for today, is to learn about your emotions, learn from your emotions, so that you can gain the feelings that you want to feel, the experiences that you want to have in your life. Okay. All right. So let's talk a little bit about this for a second. We've got, okay, I'm sorry, I'm opening up the chat a minute. Yeah. When we have a lot of these emotions that we want to run away from, it can feel like it's completely consuming you, right? So one of the first times I experienced this, so your mental and emotional wellness really colors your world. It basically, you could be in the most beautiful place. It could be this gorgeous sunny day. You're near the sea. The birds are chirping, and there's beautiful palm trees. The air smells delicious, and there's just this overwhelming awe feeling that could be felt. But depending on your emotional and your mental wellness that comes with that, you could see things in black and white and dull and totally not experience the moment of what is and what is true. So it is scary to feel that happen in your body. And that's kind of where, I entered into a lot of this exploration, was feeling kind of just hopeless and like I was completely out of control, and those different emotions were running my life and controlling me. And it is so empowering, you guys, to just hope that you walk away from this knowing that there's choice, that it takes time, but you absolutely can function differently. All right, so let's talk more about that. So anybody have anything else to add to maybe some different emotions that you were noticing in the beginning that were rising up? Feel free to chat it in. If there was one of the emotions that we touched on, and it's like your trigger emotion that you're dealing with right now, if you want to type it in, and be happy to talk it through it and play it out in this scenario. But here's a life experience, for example. So this definitely, I can resonate with this lady over the last several years, especially in growing my doTERRA business. There's these life experiences, and your three brains are instinctively processing them at the same time in everyday life, right? So the kids are crying, you've got stressful things, responsibilities, things that come up, you got somebody on the phone, the dog wants to be fed or gone for a walk, and this is where you find yourself, right? So during these circumstances, what types of emotions are going to pop up? Can anybody chat in? So she's processing the stuff that's happening. Her brain, her mind is so that emotion is all flowing through her, right? But the brain is attaching a thought, okay? Yeah. The brain is attaching, I have to figure this out. The heart is attaching, I feel overwhelmed. And the gut is saying, I'm stuck, okay? As an example. And this could happen really with a lot of different things. So, and then we have this reaction, like a physical reaction from that. So we get some head tension, we get some conflicted feelings, our stomach gets upset, knots in our stomach, like we're saying, what does it feel like, right? Okay. So the thing that is so important to understand is that the emotion, like I said, it's only lasting for a small period of time. The problem comes in when we attach a belief or mental chatter or a thought process to that emotion, okay? So here she's got some weeds growing, right? Because she's saying, I'm not good enough, just because of all these things that happened. And this is subtle, you guys. Like, you don't even know this is happening for the most part, because our mind is like 90% of the time just, running away with itself. So it takes a real awareness and getting in touch with these emotions. So your beliefs will show up in your life and create your reality, because it's just one little process after another that happens like that. And as soon as you have a belief about it, and it'll just sneak in through the back door. It's just a weed in there that one little thing could happen, and it's just gotten bigger and bigger over time, and it's still there. You haven't metabolized this emotion. And so this shows up in all kinds of things in our life. So what I want to talk with you guys about is, we don't want to feel stuck. We don't want to feel we don't want to feel depressed. We don't want to feel anxious. So let's get that notepad out. Think about, how do you want to feel? Because oftentimes I think, we set goals for ourselves. We set New Year's resolutions. There's something that we want. There's some experience that we want to have. There's someone we want in our life as a goal to make us, we think for sure that's going to give us the feeling that we want to feel. But what I'd invite you to do is to consider, really, what is it that you want to feel? Like, what feeling are you trying to achieve with all that striving? What are you thinking it's going to bring you? Because I can guarantee you, if it's not something like peace and acceptance and feeling of wholeness, then it's really not worth going after. So I'd encourage you for just another couple minutes. Let's take some breaths. Think about, close your eyes, visualize yourself. You're at your optimal wellness state. You're in physical, mental, emotional, with your finances, with your relationships, with your career. How is it that you want to feel? How do you want to be in those elements of your life? And how do you generally want to feel? Please throw a few out, because I've given you a few things that I try to focus on, connectedness, but there might be other things going on for you. I've had some people in some of my classes say, I just want to feel sexy. I just want to feel like calmer during the day. I don't want to feel agitated so much. So let's type a few things in. Has anybody got anything? And feel free to, reiterate: enthusiastic, enjoy life. Yeah, awesome. Yeah. So these are the kinds of things that we really want to focus on, because otherwise what you're doing is you're just watering those weeds that are going to be automatic as a response to the things and the way that we're wired. But if we can tap into different parts of our brain and our abilities, then we can absolutely Feel more balanced. Yeah. Appreciative. Awesome. Purposeful. Balanced. It's great, guys. All right. Let's talk a little bit about some other techniques, okay? So I once I had this experience, this journey started for me. I have a history of overdoing it with alcohol, and just pursuing the party girl for a long time was kind of how I dealt with things. And then when I got into teaching, it was like a total reality check, right? Because kids teach you everything. And I had been through my first year of teaching, about 6 months, and I just was like so happy to be on Christmas break. And I read this book that was given to me because I was just, seriously, guys, like I just didn't even know what was wrong with me. I didn't know how I could handle being in this life anymore. Like it was just such a hard, trying year. And I read this book called What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. It is so awesome. And what I learned was the whole idea that, you know, we have emotions as a part of our natural response to the world around us and being human. And then the thought, will create our response. And then how we consistently respond is going to show up in what manifests in our life. So be careful how you're talking to yourself, because you are listening. Right? So what I strive to do is practice mindfulness. Okay. So this means, like we started out in the beginning, just taking a few breaths, being aware of your surroundings, the sensations. So all of your senses, you tap into them. You know, what am I feeling right now? What am I smelling right now? What am I hearing? You know, how do I feel inside? And being mindful. And a quick way to do that is just to look at the palm of your hand. Okay. And then close your eyes. You can still feel your hand is there. Taking some breaths. And this will bring you into present moment, right? So practicing mindfulness, this takes time. What you're trying to do in doing that and getting into the present moment awareness is you're trying to notice what those thoughts are, what you're believing about what you're feeling or what's happening in your life, okay? So this definitely takes work, and I've been working at it, and I'm probably going to be working at it forever, and I just so encourage you to do a little bit of this in your life. A quick and easy thing to do for about a week is to set on your phone. You can set an alarm to go off like every 3 hours. And so from the time you wake up, you know, you want to set it to go off 3 hours after you've woken up, and have a journal handy, or just use your phone's notes for a section like this, and journal about, okay, like I'm going to get present with myself, journal about what you're feeling. Like, how am I feeling right now? Might be feeling great, might be feeling elated. Like, just write down what your emotions are at that present, and like see what you discover there, you know? And, you know, if you're feeling like really agitated or annoyed, like just write it down. Like, what are you choosing to believe, you know? And watch those emotions. So invite them in. What I would encourage you to do, and next time you feel angry, is just to watch your emotions without judging them as good or bad. Just try to watch it, try to feel it. I know it is painful, because trust me, I buried mine and would put like some barbed wire around them, and every time I would try to tap in, it's painful, and you may need some space to do this at times. But even the littlest bit is going to bring you so much more peace in your life. So, you know, and realize, okay, this is what it is. Let's see. Does anybody have something they want to type in that we could kind of model this through? So if we're not feeling balanced, okay, we're feeling maybe overwhelmed. So let's say you're in a situation that's causing you to feel overwhelmed. Okay, let's feel that. If you can just take some breaths into it, watch those emotions. Don't label this as bad, like, oh, I shouldn't be overwhelmed right now. I don't want to be overwhelmed right now. Just feel overwhelmed. Just feel every sensation about it. You know, you can even kind of, I try to talk to my kids a little bit like, okay, so what color is that? You know, so I'm helping them learn to feel what it is that they're experiencing. just realize that that is what it is, you guys. You know, it is what it is. Only when you have thoughts and beliefs that you're attaching to that emotion is when you create this story, and then it creates all this baggage and it gets stuck into your physical being, manifests itself in some kind of a sickness. So there's a great little acronym STOP that I learned from Deepak Chopra, and it stands for smile all over your body, take some deep breaths, observe what you're thinking and feeling, and then proceed with kindness. Now, this takes some serious work, and probably every single day, there are points in my day where I just can't do it, forget to do it, or just too unconscious to realize what's happening until it's happened. Then what I encourage you to do is have a redo. This particularly will happen with moms, right? Moms are constantly being triggered and showed things by their kids. I mean, they, after all, I really believe that they are raising us. Mine have been doing that for me, and I'm really grateful for it. The thing is, when you find yourself reacting to them where it just happened so quickly, you got angry like that, you had a thought like, oh my gosh, like I'm not respected, and immediately you have a reaction, right? You're going to react and call it out to them, whatever you're going to choose to. And typically it's it's not thoughtful, it's not kind. And then I'll like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I just did that. And typically I would have like all this shame and all this guilt come over me afterward. And then I'll be like, okay, usually I would have to walk away and go like be upset about it, and the kids are sad, and there's this huge disconnect, right? But what I found is if you can just say, you know what? Remember how I just totally freaked out? Let's have a redo. And I would say, so let's go back to whatever it was that triggered me in the first place and redo my response. And seriously, your kids will love it. They will start to model it. So I highly encourage you to give that a go. Now, with this like journaling every 3 hours, if you choose to do that in your week, I would obviously suggest that we put some essential oils into that practice. So we're going to talk a little bit about that too. But one really awesome resource is thework.com. This woman, Byron Katie, has an amazing set of questions for self-inquiry. So what she says is, you write down about whatever the grievance is, and then you ask yourself a series of questions like, is this true? Yes or no? And it can be either one. The whole process is just about uncovering what you're feeling and what you're thinking. Okay, so is it true? And then you ask yourself, so how do I respond when I believe this thought that this is true, right? So then you're going to write it down, like, what are you feeling? What do you say? What are you thinking? And then, and the really amazing question that I just love so much is, who would I be without this thought? Okay, so you can write that down. Like, and usually it's like, oh, well, yeah, if I wasn't believing that, then in this situation, I would feel this way. So check out thework.com, you guys. It is so awesome. And then, of course, maybe you have a lot of these overwhelming things going on, all these overwhelming emotions, and you want to feel more balanced as something that you've written down that you feel like you want to do. So affirmations are amazing. Come up with some different self-talk. Like, even though I'm really overwhelmed, I love and accept myself unconditionally. Look into different mantras like that, different self-talk, different affirmations that you can practice to rewire some of your thoughts and behaviors. Even though I just totally freaked out with my kids right now, I accept myself, I forgive myself. And that's where some of this, some essential oils and some tapping and some other things can come into place. Let's keep it rolling. I'm getting a little carried away on that. How are we doing? Can you guys type in or chat with me a little bit? Are we doing okay? I'm going to cruise on for about 20 more minutes and get into some essential oils. Everybody doing good? Okay, awesome. All right, so essential oils and emotions interact chemically. Such a cool thing. All right, I went backwards, sorry. In one drop of essential oil, there are 40 million trillion molecules. actively going on there. And the amazing thing is the essential oils, one drop will support your cell receptors, promote healthy cell function, and maintain the cell's natural state, right? It makes it all happy. Your cell receptors can instantly be impacted. So we have for example, we've got a peppermint oil, which I just love so much, you guys. Probably love it as well. It's amazing for healthy respiratory function. It calms the stomach and head tension, cools the body. We see that if you were to rub the peppermint leaf, the essential oil sacs that you see on the zoomed in version there under a microscope are what you would smell. So those oil sacs are the nature's defense mechanism for plants and cells. These natural aromatic compounds found in the seeds, root, bark, stem, flowers, other parts of the plant. These are so highly concentrated, the essential oils that we extract. They're 50 to 70 times more powerful than herbs. And 1 drop of peppermint oil equals 28 cups of peppermint tea. This is probably not super new information for you guys. Having one person review what STOP was. Okay, so STOP was, S is for smile, smile all over your body. T, take some deep breaths. Observe, it's for O, observe your thoughts and your feelings, or what you're thinking and feeling at that moment. And P is proceed with kindness. Okay, it's so awesome. It's a really great tool to remember. So when we're talking about using essential oils in managing our emotions, we want to make sure, of course, that they are super high quality, regulated for safety, and that you're going to be affected by them. So we're looking for something like our certified pure therapeutic grade that doTERRA provides. This grade of oil is determined by the chemistry, potency, and efficacy. We want to make sure that there's no heavy metals, no pesticides hanging out in there, and there's no fillers. It's just 100% pure, safe oil that we're using when we're going to talk about therapeutic ways of using essential oils in our mood management. The other awesome thing, so the physical properties of peppermint, like for healthy respiratory and gut function, promotes that digestive function. You can also diffuse it when you're feeling kind of fatigued or low in energy. It promotes this clear breathing, and it gives you this buoyant, optimistic, clear, relieved, renewed strength to face different emotional pain. So this is a very helpful essential oil to have on hand for times of stress to help you process some of your emotions. All right, so essential oils are just as dynamic as emotions are, supporting your body physically and emotionally. I would love to talk a little bit about frankincense because I just love it so, so much. Anytime I'm going to sit down and do some journaling through some emotions, I will grab some frankincense because, after all, it's the oil of truth, as it's labeled in a couple of different references that I've loved to study on. And it's been used so traditionally for enlightenment, for wisdom, for spirituality, higher connection. And it's just such a beautiful oil. And what I like to do, the tapping method, it's just a real easy thing. Check out YouTube, the tapping method. But it's basically the reflex points that a lot of us have learned about with essential oils. So you can dab a little bit of essential oil. You know, the wrists are a great point. What I like to do before working through transforming some different emotional pain that I have is to apply a little bit to this little palm, part of your palm, and just do some tapping. And along with this is where I would say, like, you know, even though I'm super annoyed, I love and accept myself. Or even though I lost it with my kids today, I love and accept myself. And already, like, you're breathing it in and you're hitting some reflex points, and then you go on to tapping your forehead and just kind of repeating these things, feeling your emotions. And sometimes it brings me to tears, to be totally honest, especially after I've done some journaling and really reflecting on a specific situation. And that is really, really good, you guys. It is so healing So it's just like when we're eating some really great foods, it's going to metabolize right out of our system. And when we don't do that, those emotions, they just stay trapped and stuck in us somewhere, and they're going to get reignited again later on in the day. So I encourage you to check out the tapping method. You do some tapping here on your third eye. You do some on your temples, under your eyes, right here, under your chin, and then I think like under your arms. There's a reflex point. So all this can be super helpful, and just breathing it in. So when in doubt, frank out. We'll leave it at that and keep going. Okay. All right, so another, citrus oils are also so amazing for supporting your mood. Wild orange, I just absolutely love it so much for its cheery, playful, and just abundant quality to help me feel like this abundant mood where I'm feeling grateful about everything and just kind of gives me that boost. But it also promotes emotional purification in a similar way that all citrus oils will provide that detoxification in your healthy body chemistry. So sipping on some lemon, like I have a little lemon going in my water to promote that cleansing. And if you're doing some journal work or just working on reflecting through, to ingest some essential oils, some citrus would be a really great way. Of course, diffusing it, or just using some topically over your heart or through the tapping method would be awesome. Okay. So aromatic, of course, the smell is the fastest way to affect your mood. These aromatic molecules have a direct access to your limbic system in your brain. This is the emotional seat of the brain. Essential oils work at a cellular level to protect cells, and they penetrate the cell's membranes. They have a unique chemical structure, allows oils to pass directly through the skin, and you have an immediate systemic response to a topical application. So again, especially when you use those reflex points topically, you're going to get a lot of those experiences. But the aromatic aromatherapy that's been around for years and years, it's because it's tapping into your limbic system instantly. And here's a little analogy of your brain, right? So you've got your flight or flight response happens in the stem of the brain. When they say you flip your lid, it's because your emotional seat of your brain is in here. And then you have your higher critical level thinking, where you can access problem solving and conscious behaviors, and where you can really proceed with kindness. Is going to happen only if you have surpassed that flight or flight response. So just getting into aroma triggers you into your emotional state of your brain, where you're then able to process these emotions and thoughts. You know, without that, it's very, very hard to get beyond the wiring of instant reaction. So that's the one thing that I think is so absolutely necessary that people understand. Like the aromatherapy essential oils are really crucial and can just transform any kind of mindful emotional intelligence practice that you might have. Check out the doTERRA Science blog. Has a really great article on emotional aromatherapy and psychology and all of that if you would like to know more. And also on there is this very cool wheel for different oils have different chemical properties, and for that often will impact certain moods. So certain oils with, let me go ahead to the next one I think we've got. So mints, for example, alcohols and ketones, these are going to be energizing and calming. Citruses, uplifting and revitalizing. Spices, renewing and invigorating. Herbs and grasses, comforting and soothing. Trees, woods are going to be grounding and balancing. Florals are calming and reassuring. This is showing the different oils that come in a kit, the emotional aromatherapy kit. I am so smitten with these, and the Motivate is something I use like almost every day. I love to put a drop of it on my yoga mat and to diffuse it when I just need to get going and get in the groove, because I tend to be kind of like going with the flow and sometimes lack urgency, and Motivate is so wonderful for that. And I'm diffusing a little bit of Forgive with Balance and Citrus Bliss right now, because I've just had kind of a funky day with with putting this together and not feeling good enough, and just some weird stuff that had been going on, and I needed to kind of invigorate my mood and forgive myself and work through some stuff through all this. So that's another reason I love doTERRA. It just helps me grow as a person all the time. Let's see. Here's a little snapshot of what these different oils will do for you. What's awesome is that if you have an account already, if you're already a wellness advocate, and you can order this in as a kit, the emotional aromatherapy kit, or it also comes as an enrollment kit if you're new. And it comes with a diffuser as well as the enrollment kit. And the little wheel that's on here is so easy. Even my kids love to do this. So, you know, if you're feeling like you need some emotional support to get through something that you're processing, just take a look at how you're feeling, and you know, across from that, you'll find 1 or 2 oils that will benefit your mood. All right, so essential oils transform your mindful mood management practice. When you use an oil to experience the sensations that rise and fall, observe your thoughts and beliefs, you can learn what that experience is trying to teach you, and process through that. We talked a little bit about tapping into your limbic system. I guess I touched on this a little early already. One thing that I would love to talk about is can also be found on the doTERRA Science blog, and many oils high in linalool and beta-pinene are known for their ability to reduce sadness and anxious feelings. 2 that I'd love to point out are lavender and clary sage. I absolutely love these oils. Use them regularly in the evening, the end of my day, to kind of process what's happened and to help with just soothing myself at the end of the day. Okay, we talked a little bit about topical application. So when you're processing things in the body and if you're feeling that tightness in your chest, then maybe you'd want to apply it topically over your heart. If you're feeling like back here in your shoulders and your neck, then maybe you'd want to apply it directly there. Okay. I'm going to cruise through just for the sake of time, because I know I want to get to some personal stuff for you guys. These are awesome oils for sleep: Serenity, Balance, Vetiver. Let's give a little shout out on the chat. What do you guys love for sleep? Because sleep is a very critical component to feeling your best. Along with what we're going to talk about real quick next is nutrition, but of course sleep. I personally love lavender and Balance on my feet. And every now and then, if my monkey mind is going and I can't seem to turn it off, a little vetiver on my big toe. And I know a lot of people really love using cedarwood. My daughter happens to love sandalwood, very similar. Okay, so this is absolutely foundational. In order to feel your very best, you guys, this almost should be at the beginning of this presentation. But in order to feel our absolute best, I mean, we have to realize that we are what we eat. So please, please, please make sure that when you're journaling and you're noticing how you feel, ask yourself, have I had enough water today? Am I hydrated? Have I been putting foods into my body that are whole foods, or have I been putting in things that are processed, that are going to trigger different responses in my body, that are not going to allow me to access my highest function brain? And you know, are you doing things that are going to support your 3 brains? So daily support with minerals, micronutrients, and healthy fats. You know, the omegas, like in this is the Lifelong Vitality Pack that doTERRA has, which is an awesome system. If you have not tried it, I so highly recommend you get on board. This is going to ensure that you have not only met all of those things for your nutrition, even if you have days where you slip here and there, this is going to make sure that you're balanced so that you can feel your best and respond the best in life circumstances. And there's essential oils in the omegas, but the omegas in particular are what are going to help your brain. We've got some things coming in. Let's see, we've got vetiver for sleep, absolutely ylang ylang, love it. And that's in the Serenity blend too, if you've ever tried that. Yeah, Awesome, you guys. It so helps you sleep, and things that can open up your airways if you struggle with that in sleep is also really wonderful too. But definitely ask yourself, what have I been putting into my body? Because that's foundational. If you don't have that, then all the techniques and all the oils in the world are not going to help you process your emotions. So take a look. I also really love the Terrazyme, which is a digestive enzyme. I take that with every meal. And just because I think I have, I've got a lot of work to do on my digestive system, which also has a lot to say about emotions that are stuck. And if you feel a similar way, if you have any issues digestively and emotionally, you definitely want to make sure you're adding these supplements into your life, and check with the person who invited you here if you need some additional support on what might be best for you in your situation. And then after you've done that for about a month, you've been taking an inventory and doing some journaling on your feelings and making sure that you're putting things into your body, you might want to consider maybe a month after doing some kind of a cleanse. Gut cleansing restores and clear thinking and improves your mood. I can attest to this big time. When I cut things out of my diet that were just trigger foods that were causing, I could just feel certain discomforts and mental fog around it. And when you cleanse and restore your gut health, you will feel so tremendously better just naturally from that. PB Assist is the probiotic. The GX Assist is only used for a certain portion of that time during the cleanse. And lemon and, of course, the detoxification blends endocrine are amazing help in this process of cleansing. You can add a drop to your water. You can put it in a capsule. Of course, you can use it aromatically as well, topically. Let's see. Okay, so on the wheel that comes in the emotional aromatherapy kit, of course, there's elevation, balance, citrus bliss that fall into these categories as well. So I know it's overwhelming, like where do you even begin? I love this chart that I found, and let's go back to the beginning and some of the notes that you wrote, where you were feeling today. You can take a look and see where you fall into some of these categories. So these different emotional roots of things. So here are some feelings that you might have been feeling. Just see, does this correlate with any kind of physical responses you might be having in your body? And here's a variety of different essential oils that are suggested for support in those specific situations or those specific emotions. And or if there's, like somebody was saying, they want to feel balanced. So maybe you are experiencing overwhelm, stress, confusion, commonly have respiratory issues and colds. I would definitely suggest you having peppermint in your life, some serenity, some digestion, some aroma touch to give yourself massages frequently, things like of that nature. But I love this chart, and if you would like access to this after the class, just feel free to message me, okay? Right. So assess yourself. Healthy mood, lifestyle. So just take an inventory and see where you're at. Are you working on healthy thought patterns, choosing to believe good about yourself and others, nourishing your brain with good fats and minerals? If you're not, we talked a lot about different things we could add in here. And feel free, you guys, use the chat room. What are you doing for yourselves that might benefit everybody else in this group? Let's throw some things out there. Are you trying any different methods? Are you using any particular oil regimens that are really helpful in your mood management? Does anybody have anything to add in the chat room? How about for healthy gut? Anything that I didn't touch on that you feel like you're gaining a lot? Okay. All right. So think about, what do you need to weed out? Are there some negative thoughts that you realized you're having, relationships, substances that you need to pull the weeds? You guys got to tend to your gardens or you're not going to feel the way you want to feel. And what kinds of things do you want to plant? You know, those new beliefs we were talking about, different relationships, maybe you need to establish some boundaries. Maybe there's some supplements you need to add into your lifestyle. And how are you going to nourish these seeds that you plant? What are the different habits that you picked up on maybe today, or that you can talk with, or that you've heard about elsewhere that you want to add into your life? I am enough and I am whole. I mean, don't we all need more of that in this world? Corinne says she whipped up a batch of body butter with power motion oils, and it's helping so much. I know we talked about it a little bit, things that are like rose and sandalwood and ylang ylang, lots of different florals, and her skin looks pretty awesome as well. So that's awesome, Corinne. Thanks for sharing. So great, you guys, if you have something like that on hand where you can use a massage technique, it will just bring more wholeness to your relationships and to your body. So those of you who are wellness advocates, I just want to say thanks so much for giving me your time today. And if you're joining from all around the country, thanks so much for giving me this time. I truly hope that it has been helpful for you. And everyone who's participated is going to receive a sample of anything you'd like. So what I need for you to do is to send me either a message through Facebook, Lauren Coulion Bernard, through the event, or you can get it from anybody who invited you to this class. Send me a personal message of what oil you would like to try or what product you would like to try, and I'd be happy to send you out a sample. So this can be one of the mood oils that we touched on, or something that you just are recently hearing about. So thank you so much for your time. I would absolutely love to get that out to you. Just be sure that you message me there, or you can email it to laurenbernard2@gmail.com, and I'll be happy to send that out in the mail right away. Now, if you are new to doTERRA and you'd like to explore your options for purchasing doTERRA products, I am going to stay on a little bit. But and before I get into that, and there are some awesome giveaways and things for anyone who is new or checking out this recording later, let's just let's do a little bit on the chat. How do you guys feel? Did you get anything out of the class? What did you find most insightful? We're learning a lot. Anything in particular? Like, what are you going to apply to your life? Anybody got anything that they learned that they feel like they can take away from this class? And I need some feedback. Interested in tapping. Yeah, tapping is so awesome. Let's maybe do a class on that and get to tapping, and we'll play with some essential oils. That'd be really fun. Or frankincense. Yeah, good. Frankincense is so awesome. Yeah, definitely use that one almost every day. Thank you guys for your time. If you're checking in, I'm just going to stay on for maybe 5 more minutes and run through some options for anyone who's new. Yes, stop. Thanks so much, everybody. If you've got to head out, please, why don't you check in on the event page on Facebook, or just send me a little message and let me know your feedback, because I am open to learning to improve myself. So anything that you'd like a little more of, or would have liked a little less of, please let me know, okay? Thanks so much. All right, so if you'd like to explore your options and you said yes to purchasing some products, so step 1, how you would like to purchase products. doTERRA, you can either buy retail or you can buy wholesale. So it's similar to, say, Costco or Sam's Club. If you would like to purchase, you at wholesale price, you get 25% off discount. And there is just an annual flat fee that you pay to have access to a 25% discount below retail. And retail customers receive continued education classes, such as this one that I've done today, and an awesome community of support and resources to help you with all of your goals and things that you're aspiring to do on your journey. What I would need for you to do is, usually if you'd like to have your Wellness Advocate account, if you'd like to have a membership, it's $35 for the year. And we would go through filling out this agreement, which can be found at mydoterra.com/Lauren Bernard. And you can actually go through this form online and do your order there. You just click on join and save. That's my personal website. So, and then we have a really awesome workshop coming up, and this is going to be an in-person class in my home where we go a little deeper into more mindful practices, integrating essential oils. We're going to do a little bit of yoga, talk about chakra balancing, mantras, more presence, moment awareness, and a little bit more science and things. So I'm really excited about that one. That's where my heart's at. So step 2 would be you choose what type of enrollment that you would like to have. There are a variety of kits. This one is like for somebody who's just ready to jump in and get started on transforming everything. You've got your diffuser, you've got your lifelong vitality pack, and a variety of mood oils, as well as oils that will work for just about anything. You've got toothpaste and foaming hand wash to reduce any kind of toxins that may be hanging around in the products you're using at home, that Terrazyme, some beadlets, the wonderful deep blues, and face wash. So you can choose an enrollment kit. Your $35 is included in any of these kits. The cool thing with the Natural Solutions Kit that's amazing is that you start earning a higher percentage back if you become a frequent flyer, and you also earn 100 free points, product credits with your order. And then the Emotional Aromatherapy Kit that we talked a lot about today is a brilliant way to start with a kit, and so is this Home Essentials Kit, because you're going to get 10 of your most foundational oils that every home needs and a diffuser. This will set you up for success pretty much no matter what you're trying to do. And then, of course, I love the Family Physician Kit too, if that's where your budget is at, and it comes with wonderful peppermint and on guard beadlets that are just a little encapsulated, a quarter of a drop, that are so great to have on the go. And it's a great place to start. And of course, you can build your own kit, the $35 plus anything that you learned about today. Please feel free to message me if you have questions or want to know how to structure your order. Again, you can message me through Facebook or to email me or text me anytime. And the awesome thing, if you're new, is all of this month, if you place 150 PV, that's product value. It's equivalent to oils in most, in the oils to dollars. And in products, it varies a little bit. But most of the kits, like let's say the Emotional Aromatherapy Kit is close to that 150, so you can just add on a little bit of something else. Or there's some roll-ons that are a really great discount this month too. They're 10% off on sale. You could add like a lemon to that, and you would receive Cheer and Motivate free from doTERRA. And then on top of that, my gift for any new enrollment is the Essential Life book, which is an amazing hardcover reference guide that's going to go through every facet of your life that you could want to apply your oils to. And we'll sit down and have a personal complimentary membership overview and discuss all of the things that you'd like to achieve and how to do that and map it out. And plus you have this amazing reference guide. And in addition to that, I'm going to offer you a blend for wholeness. And this we can come up with specific to your needs of emotional support. So depending on how it is that you were feeling at the beginning of this will depend on what this blend contains, and we can kind of come up with that together, and that'll be really fun. All right, so if you are interested in doing that, if you do place an enrollment order, we'll just set up a time to meet and go through all that. And if you're curious about hosting a class or learning to teach classes, earn income with doTERRA, again, please don't hesitate to reach out. I often will provide some awesome bonuses and things like that for hosting. I always love to compensate my hostesses with a little some free and wonderful for all of their referrals and the time that you take out of your lives to do that and to learn more. And then if you'd be willing to sit down and learn a little bit about the business, I'm so delighted to do that and buy you lunch and bring you a little gift as well, just for learning about it, just entertaining the idea of curiosity there, and see if it might be a fit for you or someone that you know. Okay. And I'm not going to go into too much of this today, but there's an awesome, it's totally optional, but awesome program for earning lots of free products called the Loyalty Rewards Program. And of course, you can choose other wellness advocate options where you can qualify to receive income. And thank you. Thank you so much. Namaste. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your Thursday. And again, please don't hesitate with any questions. All right, take care. I am going to stop the recording, but I'm going to keep the chat open if anybody has specific questions. I have just a couple more minutes before I have to head out to take my kiddos to go meet their new teachers. All right. So I'll stop the recording just for the sake of your privacy, okay? I think. I'm going to see if I can do that.